You lose friends. You're going to lose the friends who don't want the best for you. Those are the friends you want in 10 years. You lose friends. Maybe you gain new friends. Maybe you gain better friends. Or maybe, miracle of miracles, your friends pick up their mess too and move forward. Maybe not. And I'm not naively optimistic about such things, but you have to contemplate the price you pay for inaction. And this is something I did with my clients all the time. I don't want to change jobs. No wonder. It's like you have to go put yourself out to be interviewed. You have to send out 500 resumes. You have to be rejected 499 times. You have to polish your interview skills. You have to update your CV, which means you have to take a real look at the inadequacies in your preparation. And maybe you won't find a better job. It's no wonder you're afraid of that. Okay, you're in this job you hate and it's 10 years from now. How does that look? Think about that. You already know you're in a little hell. You know perfectly well it's going to get worse. Which is more frightening? Action or inaction? The thing about inaction is you're blind to it, eh? So you can hide from it. That's chapter 3 again. Do not hide things in the fog. Do not make the assumption that inaction has no price. And so then you think, I'm terrified of this, but I'm even more terrified of that. And people have asked me, I suppose, why I was willing or am willing to engage in the troublesome process of objecting when I think something isn't going well. Because I'm more afraid of the consequences of inappropriate silence. It's not that I'm brave. It's that I'm more terrified of the alternative. So I don't engage in the alternative. And I don't know, maybe I have a knack for that to some degree. Maybe it's a consequence of clinical training, but I can walk into people's houses and look around and I think, okay, there's something up here. And people have that ability. I walked into a house once and the dishwasher was in the middle of the kitchen and it was undone and had obviously been there for a couple of weeks. And the fridge had food in it that was no longer food. And the cupboards had unopened wedding gifts in them. Like 5 years after the marriage, I thought, there's a lot of things in this household that are being swept under the rug. And that was all laid out in the practical environs. It's like they hadn't negotiated who was responsible for cleaning the fridge. They hadn't even been able to open their wedding gifts. It's like something's rotten deeply so. And could see where that was headed without a tremendous amount of effort on the part, and it didn't work. They were divorced a couple of years after that in a very ugly manner for very ugly reasons. I knew where that was headed, and under different circumstances, I would have said, what the hell is that box doing there? Oh, it's nothing. Yeah, no, wrong. It's not nothing. That's a little portal to hell. I can see it, and so could you if you looked, but you won't. And I mean that literally, because people won't look. They'll walk into a room like that, and they will not look at that thing. Absolutely. And that's because if they look, they'd see. And they don't want to see, and no wonder, but the consequence of blindness is worse. I have this, my family would like some peace, because I seem to be embroiled in one thing after another, and they have a point. But peace is very hard to obtain. And I can't be blind to what I see in the broader world around me. Not if I see it. If I see it, there it is. I'm going to say something. Like, some things bug you, and other things don't. There's lots of things that could bother you that don't, because you're obviously not bothered by everything that you could be bothered by. Lots of things in the world that aren't set right. Some of them really bug you. Maybe they make you cynical and bitter. Oh God, look at how the world is constituted. It's so awful that I can't sustain my faith in the sight of that. So you've got something to do there, guy. That's your problem. Why? Who knows? I would say the reason is that it's your destiny calling to you in the form of guilt over unfulfilled obligations. You have an instinct for growth. That's not a mystical statement. It's part of being human. We don't reach the limits of our potential. Neotenic in some sense, we're continual children, biologically speaking. And so we're always transforming and changing in some direction. What direction? Your conscience tells you, at least in part, this bugs you. It's your problem.